Ho, 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 gamers! You're listening to Big Think Dimension, featuring Dan and Bob Video Games. My name? No longer Dan Video Games.
Oh yeah, then what is it?
Plan Video Games.
No!
Dr. Aggro.
Games for Impact.
And Chris Wolfhard.
What's a Starfield?
Here on GigaBoots. What is a Starfield?
I don't know. I mean,
I know what a Sea of Stars is.
I think it's like that crossed with No Man's Sky.
oh.
Does that have anything to do with a Star Citizen?
No, I'm pretty
No,
sure
that's not real.
that's something else entirely. Hello there. Welcome to Big Think Dimension number 251, where everything changes. Whoa. It's going to be really tragic when we hit Big Think Dimension number 500 and I have to look at Bob and go, we have to go back to the island. And we go back to Niceville.
Yeah, because Florida's going to be an island by then because of climate change.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's it's coming at you fast. Anyways, we just got done with gamer premonitions for the Game Awards, and then the Game Awards, and a podcast about boats. You fucker.
Mostly one boat.
Mostly one. It is mostly one boat.
Is it 1.5 boats? How am I supposed to express this? It's been a day.
Yeah.
It's been a day of a lot of game announcements. A lot of fun times were had. A lot of jokes were made. Some people, they wore armor. But here we can finally relax and just talk about what we've been doing. I haven't done shit. Bob?
I got to play a few things. I got some time in. I wanted to try out some demos that came out. A game that hit Kickstarter called Dream Shot Fantasia. It's worked on by a Twitter artist I follow, Jetto, who does Castlevania fan art.
Mm-hmm.
But this game's got like a super 80s anime inspired style. The trailer for Kickstarter literally is like the beginning of the Daikon video for like Daikon 3.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a puzzle game. So I tried it out. It's a very strange puzzle game that I can't comprehend. I can't beat the first level.
Ooh.
It's you've got like a Tetris field, but instead of blocks dropping from the top, you were dropping blocks in from either the left or right, and you can decide which side they come in through, and you shove them two at a time, and like shove everything from one side to the other side, and it's about matching like colors of 4 or into sets of 4. I'm sure someone gets it.
I'm sure someone gets it.
I could not. I tried it like the first level's like 3 times in a row. I was like, this isn't clicking. And the way they do the tutorial is like a dude talking in universe about the mechanics of it. And it's like, I need you to be direct. You're adding layers to this to make it harder to understand, and it's not working. So that's neat. Hopefully Dan or someone else who knows what puzzle games are like plays it eventually. And
I was interested. I didn't have fucking time.
right?
Just setting up all this shit took, what do you estimate that was? 5 hours straight?
Something like that.
It was an absurd. I think it was like 5 hours straight.
We finished watching that boat movie, and then you're like, yeah, stick around so I can get this stuff figured out for the stream.
Yeah, I gotta make sure that you're in the camera shot.
And then 3 hours later, it was like, oh, it looks like we're not be done soon. And then hours after that.
See, what he doesn't tell you, the part he was like, well, we should have a layout for gamer premonitions. And that was the launching off point for literally everything you're seeing right now. Because originally it was like, I'll put the thumbnail on screen and stream. And then he pointed out, people are going to see that and just leave. And I'm like, okay, well,
And
I didn't need to sleep.
then you open the big think old layout, and then you turned everything to 4K. It was completely busted.
That's true. If you could imagine, take an old episode of Big Think, make it a fourth the size of your screen. Wait, is it still you might still be there.
It might be.
Should I even show it, though?
Oh my
there might
God,
be something.
I would be scared.
There might be something cursed in the edge. You know what? I'm going to say I'm going to say we're not going to show it.
Yeah.
I
You
might.
can see every image that had ever been shown to the side.
Oh yeah, no, it's all over there. Everything. We have like old Chris avatar. We have like random shit. Every image on the screen extends, so the hellish field that Aggro was hanging out in extends all the way to the bottom, 7 times the height of the screen or whatever. So it became a bit of a project because we are doing 4K VODs now, which worked perfectly fine this morning. And then we had to add the layers of doing a screen capture in OBS as a virtual camera and then sending it to our co-host and then having Chrome open. And those 3 layers were enough to break the camel's back and actually make the encoding start becoming too much to keep up with. That was unexpected. I imagine not having to do that, it will be more stable. But this is just one of those fun things we get to find out together.
Yeah, luckily on Game Awards Day.
No, this is how we're doing Game of the Year, right?
Oh my god.
They get to see the spreadsheet back there behind us that I'm always managing for the top 10s and I'm sure they would enjoy that, and we would enjoy not editing it.
Yes, not editing it would be incredible.
Oh boy.
Because, oh man, that is a task.
I think the only thing I might like less than editing a Game of the Year podcast is Curse Content Club, because you have to make sure the commentary synced. You have individual recording channels. You need to make sure, or try your best to make sure no one kicks their desk or the mic, or there's a random sound from a train outside. I've had to edit so many things out of just the commentary tracks for those. Whereas a podcast,
we put our co-hosts in cushion rooms.
It's like a padded room, like a mental hospital. Get in the room. We have to talk about Gran Turismo. So then we put Chris in a jacket and put him in the fucking padded room to talk about Gran Turismo. Yeah, the GigaBoots podcast network is rough. But yeah, so
I'd cope by just starting to talk about all the ways that the first big NASCAR race are innovated by cheating. He's I invented a spiral fuel supply tube so I could have a quart more of fuel.
Yeah, no, that shit's really interesting. I think there's
He's
good
all kinds
history
of fucked up shit
with cars and racing aggro.
He would stick a basketball in the car tank and then so they knew how much space he had, and then he'd deflate it after they left. So he'd have another gallon of gas.
What an asshole.
Is this the same guy who filled gasoline into the frame of his car?
I'm pretty sure that's a later innovation that was deemed extremely not okay.
Right? Because this will explode.
Yeah, just what the hell are you doing right now?
Also, Dan, to be clear, everything past World War II isn't history, it's politics.
Yeah, if anybody was alive for it, it's not history yet.
Okay, then.
So in the next decade, the Nazis are going to become history, and people are not going to take that well. There's going to be some weird fucking shit we see that will be bizarre to us specifically. We're exactly the right age to be no, that was... Did you not remember all of culture for the past 90 years? What?
And then it turns out, no, they didn't, because they were woken up after that. They're in pods. Well, Bob.
Yeah, I did play some other games.
How unfortunate on this day of days.
I know.
What else did you play, motherfucker?
I played the Soul Quest demo.
All one word?
Yeah, it's all one word, but concatenated, so the quest is capitalized.
Intercapped.
Kind
of.
It's a 2D side-scrolling game that wants to be Devil May Cry, but it has a really generic art style. You just play as a very plain female knight fighting skeletons.
You look like
cave.
Agrius from Final Fantasy Tactics.
No, you don't look that cool. You look
you're right. I'm sorry.
You look like incredibly lame version of her.
This looks like it has the same problem that all these 2D Devil May Cry do, where you just beat on stuffed animals, and then if they swing, you dodge through them, and that's how you deal with every attack.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really hard to sell me on Devil May Cry in 2D. I keep trying these, and I've never been impressed. It just doesn't feel like it does enough to make it interesting in a 2D plane. Also, not having much of anything going on art-wise is pretty lame. But yeah, I've been following that on Twitter for a little while, so it was interesting to finally try it and be like, oh, it's basically kind of what I thought. But you have all the Devil May Cry moves, like you got a bunch of stuff from Dante and also from Nero, and it's funny when you have just literally names taken from that. So you have stuff like Shuffle on a character who has no attack name theming around decks of cards or anything, and it's just like, oh, you just took the name, you didn't realize why it was named that.
Yep, weird. Culture do be like that.
Yep. And then the only other thing I played, I got to play some of RE4 Remake's Separate Ways expansion.
I thought he was going to say the VR demo. I'm like, what is that thing coming? What the fuck?
I didn't have VR.
Yeah, it was like, there's so many layers of confusion. By the way, that comes out in like a few hours.
Yes, it is very soon.
What the fuck's wrong with them?
Yeah,
Everything's
coming out.
Weird how Resident Evil 4 might get double game of the year.
I've played a few hours of Separate Ways. That's really good. It integrates super well. Like they smoothly like have cutscenes to show you exactly what in the timeline it is, and everything links together right so far.
Oh damn!
They need to remake Devil May Cry 2.
Yes, they do.
But that's all I really had to say about it. I was like, yeah, it's more Resident Evil 4. It's great.
It's funny how that works.
It's Resident Evil 4, but you got a grappling hook now. Well. And yeah, that's everything I played. I mean, I played more Disgaea, but I didn't finish it yet. I don't have anything more to say.
I've been playing a lot of N64 on the CRT. They updated the core, so it basically works with every game now.
Yeah, we played Bomberman.
Yeah, we played Bomberman, both Castlevanias, Super Mario 64's normal ROM where it's got the face.
Right.
It does the Sam Lake face.
Can't wait to play some Harvest Moon 64. That's the Harvest Moon that I have the most history with.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think of if we tried anything else. We got the Goemons, the Castlevanias, the Mario.
We also played something for stream.
Oh, what?
We played Turning Point, Fall of Liberty.
Oh my god!
You thought you could get away?
Okay, all right. I'm just gonna.
I feel like Turning Point Fall of Liberty came in like an aluminum can with a white plain paper wrapper that said FPS, like you got it from the government because you're too poor.
Yeah, it's government cheese, but as video games. Okay, so aggro.
Yes, sir.
Winston Churchill got hit by a car, only instead of being crippled, he dies.
Okay.
Because of that, the Nazis invade New York. The American government immediately falls to them, and we get, what was it? The Secretary of State becomes a shadow president who's just kowtowing to them?
I think that's right.
Yeah. Uh-huh. That all checks out.
Great! Then no criticisms!
Yep. Ooh. All of those logistics are completely logical and rational.
Uh-huh.
So you think of Winston Churchill died, they would have super blimps that were just impenetrable and wouldn't.
Yeah, they're attacking us with invincible blimps that we can't
100% have the manpower and the technology to occupy the continental United States.
Yeah, it was fast. It was like crazy fast how quickly the Liberty has a fall.
We don't know exactly how much Liberty fell, but we know they definitely took all of New York and all of Washington, D.C.
They took the White House.
They did.
They put up Nazi flags and everything in front of it.
Yes.
And the Secretary of State, you fight your way through hordes of Nazis to get into him, and he's like, "No, you don't understand. We have to suck the dick of these Nazis so that way we can stay alive." And the game's like, "Oh, you could shoot him," and I just threw a grenade, and he didn't react until it exploded and killed him. It just landed at his feet, and he kept doing that the whole time with the groveling and the hand gestures, and then he exploded. It was pretty. That was the peak of the game.
Yeah.
Easily, no contest. Okay, so it's Unreal Engine. It is very barren. It is very flat. The levels are incredibly unambitious. This thing came out 3 years after Perfect Dark Zero. It is absolutely flossed on by Perfect Dark Zero.
Yeah, it was a level of pathetic that was, it's kind of unheard of. Like that they sold this at stores. It was like, what?
Reminder, listener, this is one of the 2 first-person shooters made in the same calendar year by Spark Unlimited. Creators of Yaiba, Ninja Gaiden Z, and Lost Planet 3.
Uh-huh.
I watched an interview for Lost Planet 3 right after this stream. He spent the entire interview talking about how good their cutscene tech was. The interviewer's like, so what's good and new about this game? And he's like, our cutscene tech is so good. We could do such good cutscenes. It's so good. We got the facial capture and the motion capture and the vocal performance all at the same time. The whole interview.
Yep.
So that must be a gem.
Mm-hmm.
Turning Point Fall of Liberty is a video game. You can play it. You shouldn't. It is probably the brokest, assest motherfucking video game we've ever beaten on a Friday stream.
Yeah, it's the most cynically made, just, it is a shooter you could imagine.
Yeah.
Like, you go into a room, guys spawn, you go into another room, the game continues.
The opening it feels like what a student would do nowadays in Unreal Engine to make their BioShock fan game. Where it's just like, I have a cutscene where, oh no, people are parachuting down and I'm just an everyman and I need to fight my way. And I'm going to walk on these these steel, what do they call them? Rebar or whatever? The construction platforms for a building. He's walking across these steel beams and he's just, because it's a cutscene basically, but you're playing. You walk on the straight and narrow as people fall off of it and other things happen and oh, it's crazy. And then that basically stops.
Yeah, no, the money runs out immediately. Like you do that little sort of cutscene stuff in that first level.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like you are now in a blown out street on a turret.
Yeah,
Okay,
that was within like, what, 5 minutes?
Yeah. Yeah. Every time a level ends, everything just freezes and it goes to a mission complete screen.
Yeah. What was the word it used again? It was like liberty gained or
Something
saved or
like that.
You are victorious.
Yeah, you are victorious.
Every level ended it with it in all caps proclaiming that we were victorious. And yet we still had to play more of the game. So I argue that's not true.
So after you beat the first area where you stand there at the turret in a blown out bus or a blown out van, you then walk to another blown out van that's identical to do another turret segment.
Yeah.
This is like level 1.
Yeah.
That's how bad this was.
Yeah. I'm serious. This is probably the worst video game we have ever beaten on a stream. And that's not an easy competition.
It's not like it's the cheapest for sure. Like it's the most just raggedy bad thing. Like but it's not miserable like some of the games we played or disgusting
like some of the other games we played.
Yeah, right. So it's weird. We've hit so many different types of bad on our streams.
Yeah, that's true.
So I don't want to overhype it and be like, oh, it's the worst game ever, because it's like, I don't know, we played the medium.
It's like we spent 7 hours just eating unsalted saltines.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of the plainest for sure.
Steve Emery Info is going to play this game, and people watching it are going to be grossed out. They're like, that's not safe. What are you doing? No, Steve, you're going to die. Don't play that.
This is turning out to be the biggest endorsement for Homefront I've ever heard.
Yeah, we talked about Homefront positively a few times during this.
We had multiple moments of like, oh my God, Homefront is resoundingly better and smarter than this. That's depressing. But yeah, that's all I want to say about Turning Point Fall of Liberty.
After you did the DC stuff, I'm trying to remember what the justification.
You just ended up back in New York to take down the super blimp.
Yeah, you just basically just do that again because they didn't have any other assets. I'm convinced Legendary is going to be set in New York too.
Oh yeah, 100%. That's the other first-person shooter made by Spark Unlimited in the same calendar year.
Yep.
I believe the Metacritic was higher on that. Was it? Maybe it was lower.
Maybe
Oh, no.
lower,
Oh,
but I
no.
don't know. It has Griffin, so it's got to be better, right?
It's got to be cooler, you would hope. Critic.
Watch, it's gonna be one Griffin.
Oh, they got him working in this cutscene. He's not gameplay. It looks like it is 4 points higher on Metacritic. There we go. Nice. I'm excited. That's it. I'm done talking about it, Bob.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done with that too.
Okay. Hey, Chris, what you been playing?
So I started and beat Disgaea 7.
Jeez. Started and beat in a single week. Holy shit.
It's not very long.
Did you not item world? Did you just resist the urge?
I item world somewhat, but
Okay.
you get levels pretty fast doing item world.
Mm-hmm.
It was also helped by the fact that I redeemed the free DLC pack you get. That includes a thing that gives you double experience for 100 battles.
Wait, what? I didn't see that.
It's if you go into the store, there's a free DLC that's like it's free items and a thing. One of the things it gives you is a thing that they sell for money called a boost ticket. And there's a times 2, times 5, and times 10 boost tickets, and they cost like I think times 2 costs $1, times 5 costs $2, times 3 costs $3, times 10 costs $3. It just makes you get that much more resources from a battle for that many battles. And that I mean a whole map. By battle, I mean map, not like a killing one enemy.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't realize that turned on until about halfway through the game. Because gaining a level every 1.2 kills is not that much different from gaining a level every like 1.8 kills.
Right.
So I didn't even really notice anything that was different. I was like, maybe you're getting a little bit faster, but maybe, I don't know. But most of the maps in Disgaea 7, maybe not most, but a lot of them are kill one guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I've played Disgaea games before, so I know, well, I'll just make a big tower of characters and throw them all across the map until now he's surrounded on turn 1. Now he's dead on turn 1.
Yeah.
How far into that game are you, Bob?
I'm really far.
What chapter do you remember?
It was after they went to Act 3. So like 2 chapters into that.
Did you do the chapter where you felt the savings by there being the same map 4 times?
Yes. That was
okay.
Intense.
Yeah, I really liked this game. I liked it a lot more than Disgaea 6, a game that I dropped in like chapter 2. But there sure are parts where you get to feel the savings.
Yeah, I feel like at some point this guy used to have, all the stories just visual novel in this, and it used to have it so you could see the background and sometimes move characters around on the map. And that just doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah, occasionally. I guess that's harder to do with this 3D shit. Or they just decided you didn't need to, because it was always stuff like they walk onto the map and then there's visual novel.
Mm-hmm.
But this game also had like a lot more like CGs, like visual novel style CGs than the old games.
Yes, it did.
But there is a lot of do this map, now do it backwards. Like that happens a couple times. I really liked the story of the game. I thought all the characters were pretty good. It's so similar to Disgaea 5, except better, that I almost feel like calling it Disgaea 5 Good Edition.
Yeah, it's hard to relate it to that in my head because I'm like, every character in Disgaea 5 is so weak.
It's structured almost identically, like down to you do the chapter that it's about one character and then they get their power up at the end of it, like a shonen anime. Like it has that exact same structure. That bothered me a lot in Disgaea 5 because I'm like, why are you like unironically without any kind of gimmick doing generic shonen friendship shit? This is Disgaea. And in this they do it while keeping like the Disgaea-ness to it, because the main character literally gets leukemia when anybody shows him positive attention at all, or when he has to give anybody positive attention, he starts vomiting blood.
Relatable.
So it helps. And this isn't this isn't really a spoiler, but I have to say it. It's a testament to how brain diseased I am. So you get, you complete the characters, you go through the game, something happens focusing on one character, they get like emotionally motivated or have like a personal epiphany, and their abilities get upgraded like a shonen anime, very common anime stuff. And it like tells you like this ability became this ability and they gained this ability. One of the abilities a character gets later in the game is it's like character learned 2-step plan. And I started laughing violently until I almost threw up.
God damn it. I'm gonna have to put on the stream deck at some point that clip for the Whitest Kids skit where we're so damaged, kill us, God.
Also, when Bob talked about that there's a character that's just the villain of Disgaea 5, I didn't know it was literally the same portrait but recolored.
Yes. I should have been more direct. No, it is the same thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's an acknowledgement of how much that guy sucks because he keeps getting killed off screen. You feel maybe too strong in this because they give you, because the main named characters, like the story ones, which there are more in this game than any other Disgaea game, I think. Like I don't think there's any other game where you have 6.
I feel like that's a typical number, but I'd have to go back and count.
I mean, you get them all pretty early, and like in Disgaea 1, you have Laharl, Flan, and Etna, and then real late in the game you get the humans.
Right.
But that almost feels different because it's like one or 2 chapters away from the end.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike and in Disgaea 5, I think there's 5 people you get.
In 4, there's
Valvatore as the Fenric the werewolf, the girl in the Prinny outfit, and then the I think it's 5 in most games. But some of them always feel like they don't feel like main characters. Like in Disgaea 2, you get Adele's younger brother and sister as party members, and they're unique characters, but they don't feel like main characters. But anyway, all of them get like a Super Saiyan meter you can fill, and then when it turns on, you get to eviscerate things. And you also have the get big mode, which is just a win button in most maps.
Yeah.
Because the character that gets big can just do a regular attack with boosted stats on a 4x4 square.
Oh damn.
I think it's 5x5 actually. It's huge.
Yeah, it's enormous. So if you have a bunch of enemies clustered like on a far end of the map, and like it's one of those kill this guy maps, it's just like, I'm just gonna punch you with the giant, it's over.
You need to target that meter, so you can't do it on turn 1 usually.
Yeah,
okay.
Usually.
That's anything.
And sometimes they'll even be like, oh, well, there's a giant treasure chest on this map. You want to open that by turning big and punching the treasure chest.
And I'm like, I'm 60 levels above this map, so no, I don't.
Fair.
So you can do some goofy shit in this game. Like the thing I did in the entire back half of the game is I got a thief up to the level where they learned the ability to attempt to steal a random item from every enemy on the map at once.
Mm-hmm. Thieves are really good.
And by
item,
I mean part of their gear.
Yeah. That's deranged.
So I just parked my thief in the corner and I'm like, I'm going to do this every turn until no enemy has any gear and their stats are now tanked. Because they don't have a weapon, they don't have any armor, they don't have accessories.
Yeah, is this the first one where, like, previously in Disgaea, you have to bring in an item for stealing? And this one...
I think they changed it later on that it was just an ability thieves get, but I don't know in which one.
Right, but now you can you have a steal button. An ability
it's
that's
just an ability they learn. There's a lot of QA changes in this that I don't know if they came from this one or if they were in 6. Like in previous Disgaea games, you had a thing called a bonus meter. And the bonus meter, it started at 0 and could get up to 9.
Mm-hmm.
In 99% of maps, you couldn't get it above 1 because the only way to really juice it was to do a geopanel combo, which I'm not going to fucking get into. It's a complicated mechanic. This guy. It doesn't matter. In this, they changed it to there are 5 conditions for the map, and for each condition you successfully fulfill, you will get a reward. So you can actually conceivably get all of those in every battle instead of never doing it.
Right.
Neat.
There's so many ways to get strong in this one. It really feels, you just feel like nobody has a chance.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly think there might be too many mechanics now. Like I was like, I'm gonna play this like I play every Disgaea game. I'm not gonna look at anything I don't want to look at. I'm just gonna make my numbers big enough that strategy doesn't matter.
That's how Disgaea works.
Founding principle.
Disgaea didn't have like mechanics that would make you like think at all until 4. It was purely get your number bigger.
I still miss one's just unethical way that ninjas work, where it's like, yeah, they will dodge everything. Nothing can hit them.
Jesus.
But yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. I might actually go back and do post game at some point. Not during the Game of the Year crunch, though.
Really?
I might buy one of those times 10 boost tickets to do the post game because I'm like, we don't fucking have all day over here.
Yeah, I feel like ideally you save that until it's like, I got some maps. I can make this work.
See, it was that easy. Just charge $60 for your game and then have some atomic candy on the side.
And I only got the game for $40, so I won't feel bad about.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
I don't think I'm going to buy any of the DLC where you go and fight the previous characters, especially because they packed them like an asshole.
Oh.
They packed them almost randomly.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, I'm just going to wait till the whole season pass goes on sale. I'm not buying these individually. This is messed up.
Because it's not like, here's the characters from Disgaea 1, here's the characters from Disgaea 2. It's like, it gives you, and there's like there's a map with a little bit of story attached, so you do actually get like a little bit of story, but they packed them in such a weird way. It's like, also they included games from Disgaea, they included characters from Disgaea D2. How dare you acknowledge that game? I don't really have much else to say about it. It's really good. It's the one I've liked it more. I like it more than any Disgaea game since 3.
Yeah, it's definitely the best in a long time.
I think I should be able to blow up Nippon Ichi Software of America with my mind for selling me Disgaea 6 for $70.
Fair.
There's also a lot of other nice quality of life features. Like if you unlock a color for a class, you can just change the class to that color at any time instead of having to reincarnate them. I like to be able to pick my cosmetics. That's all. I also played some Diablo 3.
Oh.
3.
Because I needed something I could press buttons and get loot, so I didn't pre-order World of Warcraft: The War Within. So far, it's working.
Yeah, Diablo 3 does let you press buttons and collect loot. It does that one thing.
That's all I need.
Hey, Dr. Aggro.
Hey.
What you've been playing?
I have now finally gotten sufficiently deep enough into Honkai Star Rail that I understand the shape of the thing, which is something I'd been curious about the entire time I'd been playing it. Because as I was going through these areas and this content going, This is an unsustainable thing as a JRPG. I don't know how much of this game can exist before I hit a point where I went, oh, here's the rest of it. This is MMO Endgame. This is a whole bunch of daily quests in the same areas I've been in and optional quests popping up now that my Trailblazer level has gone up. And here are all the daily dungeons I can run to get extra resources to do stuff and up my rep and have all the meters go up and have the bars go up forever. Yes, I understand where I am now. All of the numbers go up as long as I press the buttons. My brain is swimming in this chemical. I may be in trouble. Your boy loved MMOs. I played all the MMOs. I would get to the end of the story content, and it's like, it's time for endgame raiding, and I'm like, see you next time. But now that I can just play a single player JRPG on that treadmill, I'm already arguing about how I can bring this for Game of the Year next year.
Fuck.
Not because I believe it deserves the nomination, but because I believe by then I will have become a Hollowed Out Pod person.
But it's okay. If it's anything like other MiHoYo games, you're not just going to be doing that. They're going to keep adding the single player stuff that seems ludicrously more budgeted than it could possibly be.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, they're gonna add like a $3 million rhythm game for like 2 weeks and take it out.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of shit in here that I'm gonna start cramming into every category for Game of the Year.
God, I need to go back and play more. No.
If you have not interacted with Pitch Black Hook the Great, you have not experienced life or joy.
I still haven't tried Honkai because there simply wasn't time.
Right.
Oh yeah.
That is another game that is not on that list that I made that was already 24 games long.
Yeah, no, the double-edged sword here is I believe I've gotten far enough into Honkai to understand it thoroughly enough to where I have to play other shit now.
Yeah. Don't worry, sometimes you do that with a game and you go, oh, that's great, I only played 2 hours. I think Chris and I had that a couple times last Game of the Year, and I can't remember what games for, where we just went, oh, we played enough to realize it is not a top 10. It is not. But, you know, there's always filling out those categories.
There is.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of not understanding a game yet, I also got farther into Moss Book 2.
Ooh.
I got far enough into Moss Book 2 to declare that Moss Book 1 was the tech demo, and this is the game.
Fuck you.
Jesus.
Come on now.
Yeah. No, I got a few hours into this and got some cool abilities and did some multitasking heavy fights where I had to disconnect my thumbs from my hands and my brain and then pull the fucking dagger out of my heart and keep going. This game's, it's real good.
Well, see, that's great news because you didn't stab me with this before the moment where my VR space is actually nailed. I played Pistol Whip the other day, and Aggro, I'm living the mythical life. I'm living the life that Microsoft assumed every American household had. I have 10 feet by 12 feet of open floor space to play the Kinect.
And you're not black.
Holy shit, is it finally time for the Dragon Ball Z Connect stream?
Fuck! Damn it! I was like, if I keep saying this, someone's gonna say the game that's gonna break everyone's mind. The singular game that's like, we need that. We need the Dragon Ball Connect game.
I think you should also be forced to... Did you beat the dancing shit in Star Wars Connect, or did you be like, no, that's too many? I quit.
I think we did a lot of it. The problem is the Kinect was really having troubles like registering us during that stream. Like we would move our arm in a very specific way, and then the game would be like, no. And then a sassy person online would be like, well, you're not dancing right. And I'm like, motherfucker, I have a camera. I can see what my arm's doing. The camera is basically in the same spot as the Kinect sensor. And man, because if you recall, that was a high up looking down angle in order to get it far enough away from us. It was a very unideal setup. This, however, sadly, an ideal setup. I'm worried.
Somehow it just still won't work.
Yeah, I'm worried that it actually needs more than 120 square feet.
Uh-huh.
Let me just look this up. How much space, I'm just going to Google it, literally, does the Kinect need? Okay, it says according to this, 6 feet by 6 feet.
Okay.
Bullshit!
Yeah, absolutely.
But hey, we have that.
We do.
As you can see on this overlay right here, there's a lot of space in this room. Bob's so far away. He's like, what is that? 30 feet? I don't know, 15 feet? You're so far. I can't. Yeah, see?
Yeah, it's possible.
But that's great news that Moss is that good. It's bad news that it was yet another game not on that list of 24 games. So here we go, back into the document.
Oh. You could just skip Moss 1, right? It doesn't have connective tissue there, right?
There's no way I would want the emotional baggage and texture of going through Moss 1. I'll just go straight to 2 and that'll be fine. That's how that works. I'm starting to think if things get too bad here, I'm going to have to cut James Cameron's Avatar from this list.
What a shame, Daniel. What a shame.
Yes.
What are we going to play tomorrow then, Dan?
Well, that depends on whether or not the PS2 HDMI mod works with Bungie.
Bungie?
Because either we're playing
Gap Simulator.
Oh my God. Actually, that shows up pretty well in 4K. Look at that. You can actually see it when he's not directly reflecting the light.
Yeah, you can see this American box art that downplays the gapness.
That looks terrible. That is a terrible box art. That's not done.
Yeah, it's always looked really plain and like there's just obviously something missing here. Like the logo just has a giant square.
I mean, half of the fucking box art isn't done.
Right.
One would easily argue.
Mm-hmm.
But don't worry, the logo's very readable. You accomplish that at least.
But yeah, I think the Japanese one is literally just Gak's face.
Yeah, pretty sure. So if we're on the good timeline, the PS2 HDMI mod works with this, which we're going to go pick that up tonight. And then that's tomorrow. And on the bad timeline, it's Mindjack. Which I guess is still a pretty good timeline, frankly. Mindjack's so dumb.
It's going to be so bad.
Is it?
It is.
Is it?
There's no way it's...
We just came from Turning Point.
I mean, it's going to be better at Turning Point. I think it
sounds great.
Right? Like, let me just above that. One entire point above Turning Point.
Ooh. Oh, talking about Moss actually gives me a launching off point. I tried the wireless Steam VR stuff.
Neat.
For people who don't know, on the MetaQuest headsets, they now have, actually it may just be Quest 2 and Quest 3. They now have a Steam Link app allowing you to use your wireless router and stuff to wirelessly stream from your computer to your headset. The usual experience you get via plugging in, via USB, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Because it's PC VR, I only got to try one game. I got to try VR chat, and it seemed to work really well for that. It was kind of a cool, freeing experience to not have a cable because the cable management on the Quest sucks. Mm-hmm. Like the PSVR 2 is much, much better. It comes out directly down behind your ear. So the weight, the cable, everything fine. The Quest 2, it's like, hey, what's up? I'm going to go out at a parallel angle to the ground, and then the weight of the cable coming off, that will be weird, and it'll also be all over you, and it'll suck. The reason I said because of PC VR is what it is, isn't because I don't own PC VR games. It's because I tried to boot Pistol Whip 6 times, and it wouldn't boot. And I don't think that had anything to do with the Steam Link app, because it was halting at the exact point I've had it happen wired before. So I can't blame this app for that. But it seemed like a really good experience as someone who has a god tier router given to me by my ISP what a mythical home I live in, and a wired connection from the PC. As long as you've got good wireless internet and a wired connection directly to your PC, it apparently can have a pretty good experience, which was weird.
That's unexpected.
I had very low expectations for this.
Mm-hmm.
Now the number one problem is, hey, did y'all know the Quest 2 still sucks? Like it's like tube vision. You go between that and the PSVR 2, it's like whiplash. Because the PSVR 2, you get some peripheral vision.
Right.
You get a decent FOV on that. The Quest 2, it really does look like you've held up 2 cardboard tubes. Imagine toilet paper rolls. That specific distance of cardboard tube, that might be a very exact approximation. But it was very cozy, very comfortable experience. And it's really weird to be doing VR in a space where I'm not afraid of hitting Bob shit, my shit, a chair, tripping over HDMI cables everywhere. Because, that's how the old Giga room was.
Uh-huh.
There were cables everywhere. In this room, luckily, all the cables stop here. And there's basically none that go that way except for our headphone cables and his XLR.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in a fictional household. Time to enjoy the Kinect. Yabba dabba dabba. Aggro. I'm sorry about the enormous number of tangents. You have anything else you want to say about Moss Book 2?
I did want to highlight one thing because I'm going to keep being angry that this isn't a more copied and plentiful genre until that stops being the case. One of the things this game can do very well, because they have a semi-fixed camera angle, is very intricate and small interior spaces with a lot of verticality and interesting positioning and shape to them. And in VR specifically, the cool thing you can do is make that fixed camera angle area, but it's cool if it's got weird little pockets and corners because I can just lean over and take a look around that corner if I need to. It is an incredibly freeing thing in level design, and they use it to incredible effect. Looking down at video games that are not like VR first-person experiences is a thing that needs to be more prevalent on this hardware.
I agree. It's a really great experience. People really, when you see videos of it, I feel like people are predisposed to underselling the value that provides, Like I played Astrobot. Astrobot definitely has the same vibe. It does a lot to immerse you.
Like all those like 3D games that play on like an isometric, like Tunic and Death's Door and like that whole style of game can absolutely benefit from being in VR.
Yeah. Death's Door would be amazing in VR.
Yeah.
I often think about how great Death's Door was. That was an awesome game.
It was a real surprise. Like that was 2 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like just doing that Game of the Year cram that year was really paid off with that one.
Yeah. And I think that was the highlight of my cram.
Yeah.
Kenna was great too.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Came out that year too. Jesus.
That was a pretty good year. This is also a pretty good year. This is a troublingly good year.
Yeah, it's a problem. I also had a great couple of panicked minutes when Moss 2 kept booting in flat screen mode. So I would just see part of what I was supposed to see on a floating flat screen, and I couldn't figure out how to fix it. Eventually, I just booted into something else and then booted back into it, and it fixed itself.
Okay. This is sort of problem I don't expect to have on console VR, but it still happens.
Right. So I was like, this is a problem. None of the buttons are working. What's going on?
Is there like a non-VR mode you can play in that?
No, there is not. There was just a rectangle of the normal field of view floating in space that I could not interact with.
Were the Krypton people inside of it?
The fucked up thing is, I'm like, what does this have to do with the bottle city of Candor? Oh, he's talking about, okay, yeah. Yeah, we need that "we're so damaged" button on this.
We do, yeah. I need to grab that. Just weird. Every page of my Stream Deck has this button on it because I need it at a moment's notice.
But that's all I've been playing.
Oh shit. The Podlords!
Oh, it's so soothing.
Oh fuck.
The imminent destruction of me and my co-host to these Podlords is so smoothing. So smoothing. That's what frame gen does. It's so smoothing. Yes, that's right. The Podlords. Podlords such as BN12. I'll just put him up early this time.
Sure.
Ely Broyles. Bountiful. Blessings to you all. When does it end?
I don't know. Maybe when Aggro watches the Bounty Arc.
Are you putting this on aggro?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, do it, aggro.
You
New
fucking do
sub
it.
Show sipping bleach.
Aggro holding the cannonball jumps into the water. Red Blaze 27. Suzushiro. Rado. 101 Shades of Wonderful Remastered. WTF. Spider-Man. Mr. I Like Spam. Wow, can you believe that just happened at the Game Awards? I think Jeff's face really tells it all. DFW3K. The Burger King is rapidly approaching your location.
Oh no!
Is this season 2 of Twisted Metal?
When's the Sneak King death stream?
You know, Bob, we didn't... Wait, you weren't in the car with me that time. Tosh was. Tosh, you remember the LG OLED van? I passed a vehicle that was an LG OLED van, and I'm like, what the fuck? My dream job, just driving right past. I go to your house and tell you your settings on your TV are wrong.
Uh-huh.
And you, weirdly enough, you paid me to do it. I, for one, am very excited for the Dan video games of the video games family Yakuza arc.
Jesus!
Oh man, he's so cool.
That
Look
is
at him.
he looks too good.
This is I would say the best fan art of Rahab, but frankly the only fan art of Rahab.
Pretty good.
This is pretty good.
Yep.
He's way too on model.
Yeah, it's amazing. We now have a front-facing Rahab.
Is this canon to Red Dragon?
Yes. Yes, of course. Kristen. Make my wish come true. That's horrible. That is rancid. Kyle Bjork. Cooper Tank. Captain, I'm a guy ready to light up your holiday season with the power of the Bakoto.
Oh, come on. No.
The Ochi implores you to please play Pikmin 4. I mean, I won a Game Award, so I guess I have to.
Who didn't?
Spider-Man 2.
Starfield.
Oh.
Indigo Sykes. Daryl Hall has a restraining order against John Oates. They're out of touch.
Oh my god.
I'm shocked this is the only out of touch Podlord on Out of Touch Thursdays.
Uh-huh.
I'm pretty sure this is the only
Well, they're
time
gonna
this
be a
has
lot
ever
now.
happened. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Evil Lucario. A raccoon watching the Game Awards, hoping for some Square Enix news. What a cute
At least he
raccoon.
wasn't hoping for Virtua Fighter news. That'd be over.
Bob, raccoons don't play Virtua Fighter.
It's genuinely fucked up that Sega specifically sent those promotional things to fighting game people.
Oh.
Ooh.
Shinji16 and Lexi would like to remind you that you matter, you are valid, and you deserve to be happy.
Nice cat.
Lexi's beautiful. Apple Gothic is gearing up for their first holiday season working retail.
Ugh.
Well, that face is perfect for it.
Yeah. Good luck.
Good job. The Super Mim. The Hard M presents an impenetrable bit.
I think that's a Yakuza character turned into Jinkaria.
Oh, that's Jinkaria? I didn't even notice.
Well, yeah, it's obvious.
Now, I'm going to be real. Jinkaria's plans are commonly much better than Daigo's.
Oh my god. Drop.
Sarlene. Timothy Pfister is hyped for the new Mana game in 2024 featuring Flammy!
Flammy?
Oh, that is so hype. Get hype, motherfuckers. Bearded Joe. Pleochrome. Krunglespum. Happy birthday, Aggro.
Yay. It's my birthday gift to me.
I overthrew an election for my birthday.
Dan, just because you can't campaign for shit doesn't mean democracy doesn't work.
Listen here, you piece of fucking crap. You're lucky it took me 10 more minutes to think of Oppenheimer, which is what I should have fucking brought to counter.
Everybody has to bring a different 3.5 hour long historical movie next time.
No!
Dan can bring Oppenheimer. I'll bring Killers of the Flower Moon.
Do I have to bring Wyatt Earp?
Oh.
Sure.
Gentlemen, I regret to inform you that the Folgers incest commercial still makes me laugh. What the fuck?
Folgers incest commercial?
Oh, have you? We'll get into it later.
Rockstar Games when they find the person who leaked their GTA 6 trailer online. Welcoming the newest member of Big Thing Dimension. These podlords are fast.
Yeah, they are.
Was that Wiseman's plow? Oh my goodness, where did Shed get all that cake? I believe God. I believe God gave Shed all that cake. How Noodle feels about the Super Mario RPG remake. Peak fiction coming very soon. Oh, thank God I read that wrong. Ultra Kill is not launching out of the early access this year. You are safe. Yay!
Thank fucking God.
I didn't know it was early access.
It's been in early access for a bit, so it could have been real. Could have jumped us. Red Saber. Hashire Sorio Kazuno Yoni. Sorry, boys. Just wanted Aggro to experience the balance vicariously. We should all be equally soul damaged.
God, he is. Ugh. What a terrible
Thank
beard.
you very much to our Podlords.
Thank you, Podlords.
Thank you, Podlords.
Thank you, Podlords. And if you would like to become a Podlord, you can go to our Patreon at patreon.com/gbpodcast. For as little as $5 a month, you get access to many benefits, such as early access to Chugging, Bleach, and Pokemon Go to the Movies, our 2 monthly anime review podcasts. You also get extended content and extras to other shows we do when such things exist to be given to you. You also fund a show one a month, either a public show where we watch a horrible thing and talk about it, or a patron exclusive show when we watch a good thing and then talk about it. And you get to vote on which good thing we watch and then talk about it. And if it's a bad thing, you also get a commentary track for that bad thing. So if you become a patron, there are also many, many commentary tracks for things such as Good Burger, Good Burger 2.
Yeah.
3 different Hallmark movies, although only 2 of them actually count because one is one they did like in the first couple years when they were trying to be real movies and it had Frasier in it.
Yeah.
But if you want to see a really awful movie where a woman fucks a ghost, there's a commentary track for that.
That's true.
You also get many private shows that we did back when we kept the bad shows patron exclusive. So that's patreon.com/GV podcast. If you don't have any money, it always helps immensely to tell your friends, rate us on Thursdays, rate us on your podcasting app of choice, or like and leave a comment on this video if you're watching on YouTube. That's patreon.com/GB podcast.
For anyone who heard the audio glitch just then, I told it to stop playing the song, but the fade was longer than the time that remained in the song. So if I didn't close Stream Deck completely at a program level, it was going to quietly play the Play Online Dolphin theme for the entire rest of this podcast. We're good though. We're good now. We're safe. Okay. Here we got news. Let's start with Bob news. Bob, you have news?
There's news. Momodora Moonlit Ferrer, they gave us a date. It's January 11th. Luckily, it's not this year. It's barely
Thank God.
next.
It only would have been like 4 hours anyway. I could have chugged it, but I'm glad. I really was disappointed by Minoria, that 3D fucking thing they did.
Yeah, whereas every trailer for this looks really good. This is back to 2D artwork. Yeah. There might even be a card system like Circle of the Moon.
Yes, I think we saw that before. Yeah.
So I'm super excited that Momodora, whatever that last one was before.
Reverie Under the Moonlight?
Yes, that was really good. That's some of my favorite Metroidvanias that not made by, Iga.
See, that's really funny that this is coming out, I think, almost on top of that one game from the Pharaoh Adventure Rebirth people finally coming over to the PlayStation. Because I think that's also in
Toho
January.
Luna
Yeah,
Nights?
the Toho Luna Nights finally coming to the PlayStation. I think that's January or February. I think if it is January, it's literally the same day. And I'm like, ooh, that's a good week.
Yeah.
If I weren't in the middle of Game of the Year.
Right?
Man, I need to go play the bonus boss in that because I never did it because I don't think it was out the first time I played through the game.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
Yeah, I feel like some stuff like that got added later. Okay, I know I'm buying it again. I need to support them actually bringing stuff to PlayStation because they are hesitant to do it, it feels like.
Let's move on. Bob, do you have any news that makes you go ring-a-ding-ding, ring-a-ding-ding?
Tom goes to the narrative.
TikTok.
It's rated for PS4, PS5 in Taiwan. That's right.
Whoa.
Everyone gets to play Tom Goes to Narrative.
Or
Hooray!
if you don't know what that is because you're a normal fucking person and have not internalized the bullshit name we gave it, that is As Dusk Falls, the game that looks like Tom Goes to the Mayor, which is hence us calling it Tom Goes to Narrative.
Yeah.
It's that game.
It's a cuck game.
It is.
It's possibly peak cuck media.
I really hate you, Dan, because every once in a while now I just imagine like the fighting game super cut in, and in my head here, rick-a-tick-a-tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock.
They're doing this, slapping their knees and high-fiving each other.
Man.
I'm glad that stuck with you that much because the image was so clear to me as the thought occurred. I'm like, oh, that's beautiful. It's like a screen clear almost and like a beat 'em up where they just do that and all the enemies are shaking and there are explosions. Well, we had fun with this news story.
Yeah, unfortunately, I have some bad news.
This is fucked up because it's gaming relevant. But it's not even like shitty news because another game studio is doing layoffs. It's a whole nother vector of us getting fucked.
Right. It's just another weird thing. So all the Discovery content is being removed from PlayStation Store. So that's stuff like Mythbusters, Cake Boss, Deadliest Catch, How It's Made, just anything from Discovery Channel you can think of. It's just leaving Sony's platform. Even if you've bought it, it is not in some sort of archive you can go watch. They are not refunding you. It is gone. And then Sony says it's due to evolving licensing agreements.
Hey, that image that goes around that's like piracy is moral if it's Adobe. I think we're getting there with anything that's owned by Discovery. I think after this, Fuck you.
Honestly, like, don't buy video digitally. Just don't.
No. It's
How
not
else
to
am
be
I going to get
trusted.
the Dimitri Martin show in the year 2007?
Well, if buying isn't owning, piracy isn't stealing.
Very solid point.
Yeah. That's more and more what these companies are pushing us towards.
Right? This is a breaking point for me. It really is. As a Discovery subscriber,
Uh-huh.
a breaking point for me is this isn't a hypothetical. I am actively giving you money as of right now.
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm realizing that maybe not everything's safe. Maybe my money is better going somewhere else. Because who knows? Maybe everything I care about will disappear from that platform too.
It's possible.
At least that'll be remotely okay, unlike taking away shit people have bought.
Right.
Which, in an alternate timeline where I had money in 2007, maybe I would have bought the Mythbusters on the PlayStation
I could
video
see
platform.
it. Absolutely.
That's so fucked up. That really does piss me off.
Yeah. That this is able to happen is crazy.
Yeah, a fucking senator should be calling them over this right now. But unfortunately,
Nobody in office knows what digital purchases means.
I mean, no, that's not the problem. Adam Savage and Jamie Hyneman are not Looney Tunes, so no one's calling. That's the problem. If this was a Looney Tunes movie. Okay, well, then all that's left is Chris's news.
Oh boy, you guys ready for horrors?
There's some good things in here, right?
Yeah, there's some good things. We'll do all the good things first before the horrors. So Everybody's Golf / Easy Come Easy Golf developer Clap Hands filed 2 trademarks for Ultimate Swing Golf.
Ooh.
So maybe we're getting a new golf game. I like golf games.
Yeah, I hope that's not on like mobile exclusively this time.
Yeah, so that's Mina no Golfu, if you're a fan of the Japanese name, or Hot Shots Golf, if you're a fan of the horrible American characters they shoved into that franchise almost every time it came over.
They called the last couple ones actually Everybody's Golf.
Which
It's
was
true.
a mistake and was why the series has downfall, I think.
It is absolutely, you just threw away your fucking branding for a reason that I'm not sure.
Yeah, nobody...
Is someone just going, oh, it's not for Hot Shots, it's for everybody. We have to ruin years of branding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably.
That's, man.
Peter Griffin was added to Fortnite. He's Peter from that episode where he gets a bunch of plastic surgery and is like buff and triangle shaped because for hitbox reasons they didn't want to give him a wildly disadvantageous hitbox. So they made a little cartoon about Meow Skulls, the alt cat person, giving him like steroids to make him buff.
Did you watch this?
No.
Yeah.
Huh.
The glider is the Peter copter, and when you kill him, he falls over and holds his knees and does the
Damn it.
thing.
All right. That's good.
Also, Cell and Frieza are coming to Fortnite. It sells first form and final form, and Frieza's first form, final form, and golden Frieza.
That makes sense. Those would be the ones you'd want.
And then somebody said, I'm gonna kill Goku's and then have Frieza do the whip cracking mode. And I'm like, oh.
Oh, God, no.
Starbreeze, they are the publishers of Payday, I think.
Yeah, I think that's right.
I don't know if they're the dev or the publisher, but they announced Project Baxter, a multiplayer licensed Dungeons and Dragons game. It's coming 2026, so it's a ways off.
Yeah.
They said it will not use dice rolls, but will teach people D&D 5th edition rules. I don't know how.
Well, they got 3 years to figure it out.
Well, I mean, Hasbro doesn't want Dungeons and Dragons to be a tabletop game anymore. They want it to be a thoroughly monetized VTT experience. So that should sync up with their timeline.
We got a GTA 6 trailer. The first time anybody saw it was a Twitter account made to leak it that had buy Bitcoin up on top of it for the entire run thing. I'm pretty sure Rockstar is going to post like a grainy execution video of who they found whoever leaked the trailer when they find them.
I bet. Man.
It looks like a trailer for GTA 6. It's 2025. I had deep personal introspection about whether or not I wanted to be excited, and decided I will be excited. Show me what show me what a $2 billion game looks like.
I'm really
I
excited
want to
because
see what that looks like.
it's Florida and it's not in the 80s era.
Yeah.
I'm curious in a more broad and possibly more inclusive and accurate depiction of Florida looks like. And it just from this trailer, I already got more of those vibes than Vice City ever gave me, because Vice City gave me the idea of like the movies of the 80s in Florida.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
like Vice City was the cocaine era. This is
Right.
We have clearly moved into the methacene.
Yes. The methosphere.
GTA 6 is going to be so realistic. If you live in Florida, you'll be able to find your house, go inside, and see yourself playing GTA 6 and then shoot yourself in the head. And I can't tell you what will happen then because it would violate NDA.
Oh, but you could say all the rest of that.
Yes, the rest of
Yeah,
that's
that wasn't
fine.
part of it.
On a completely unrelated note, remember, if you die in Florida, you don't get to leave.
That's horrifying.
Yeah, you become an undead like Dark Souls, like you're stuck in the land betwixt, but it's Florida.
I thought the trailer was very exciting. Lots of Florida stuff, lots of cool, crazy stuff. You know, lots of videos of people twerking. So I think the game looks great.
People are so insane. I lost my mind at this one tweet I saw where they posted, because the trailer had the GTA version of the arena that the Miami Heat play in.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I can't wait to fly a plane into this whenever they're losing. And I lost my mind. A bunch of companies did really embarrassing knockoffs of the Twitter promotion that Rockstar did, where they put up like a pink neon type palm tree image and was like, "Gee, this trailer on this date." Like 343, Blizzard, and I think one of the Hoyoverse games all did identical images. It's like, you can't. This isn't like the Cyberpunk apology thing. This is just you ripping off their marketing.
Right. No, this is, hey, they did a cool marketing and everyone cared. Our marketing team should do that. And it's like, do you think they cared because the last time a GTA came out was 11 years ago and it's fucking GTA?
Right.
Are you GTA? No, you're Halo Infinite,
I
which
actually-
means your bar is much lower.
Yeah, I went and checked out the Halo Infinite one. That was just sad.
Any idea? What was it?
I think it was like, here is a new game mode. And it was nothing that was exciting at all.
Okay.
Maybe a new map.
All right. Well, they got you to pay attention to it.
It's clearly not too much. I don't remember it at all.
Hey, if you had the capacity to get excited, then you would have absorbed that knowledge and possibly got excited. But the only thing that would have justified aping the marketing of a GTA would have been like, hey guys, game's dead. New one's up. It's actually good. Try it out.
Yeah, no, it'd have to be, here is the next story part.
Here's Halo Infinite 2.
Right.
Built in a way that makes sense for Halo and with all the multiplayer maps you want.
Yeah. And I think the Overwatch one was literally like, this character is already announced. Yeah, here's another trailer for him. It's like, what?
Jesus Christ.
And guess what? I didn't hear any of that.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't hear about any of those things because they got deleted.
Right. Of
Yeah.
course.
The
Like,
only
I had
reason
to
we-
go digging for who even did this.
Right. The only reason we even looked into it is because we're here right now doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that was all the good stories, so now it's time for nothing but horrors.
Oh, no.
Warhammer, Age of Sigmar, Realms of Ruin, a new RTS game, flops. The shares of the publisher, I guess, or maybe the developer, I don't know which one it is, Frontier, tanked 20%. Max concurrent players on Steam, 1,578. It came out 2 weeks ago, and I never saw a single soul talk about it. Not one. Not even the guys I know who like both Warhammer and strategy games.
Yeah, I didn't even, like, there were so many of these Warhammer games, they just fell through the cracks.
Yeah, I swear to God, we watched a trailer for this. I don't even know if that was this year.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't know it
was
came out, that's for sure.
Yeah, like I think we had a Warhammer event this year, and that's probably the only time I saw it. and I forgot it existed until Chris, I think, tweeted about it.
Twitch is ending service in Korea entirely. Like, you will no longer be able to access Twitch in Korea in February 2024. Good thing you guys didn't move there to get street food.
Yeah.
Dream's dead now.
Right.
Fucking
This is
thanks,
due to
Korean
my
government.
understanding is this is due to this is protectionist regulations pushed by Korean ISPs that basically boil down to the more traffic that a site uses, the more they have to pay.
Yes, that's literally what it is. They want to charge the end user for how much they're consuming, but also the content source for how much they're pushing. And it's like,
yes, and part of this is because Korea is launching. There's like upcoming Korean streaming services that I assume will get more beneficial, like, treatment from the government. Like, it's just it's a protectionism thing.
And this is
Now
in
time-
both Koreas?
this is
Sure.
in South.
This is the big one, and I don't like this because we're gonna get this story 3 or 4 more times next year. Also, IGN is reporting that Bungie's layoffs earlier this year were a desperate gambit to keep Sony from taking direct control of the company. According to the agreement they signed when they were acquired, if they miss their earning goals by enough, like if they are unprofitable or not profitable enough by a certain amount, Sony gets to dissolve their board and put in their own board for Bungie. They basically get to absorb them into Sony structure. Leadership refused the idea of executive pay cuts entirely and said Bungie's not that kind of company. There's apparently beginning to be stress between Bungie's in-house QA, which was a big part of Bungie's identity, and leadership, with leadership basically being, you guys aren't important. Fuck you. You're not developers. Go to hell. Many of the layoffs coincidentally hit people who had spearheaded diversity inclusion initiatives at Bungie.
You know, you hate to see anybody thrown into the wood chipper, but if somebody's going in the wood chipper, maybe there's a short list.
We're going to get this. I guarantee that deals like this exist for Bethesda and Activision. We're going to get these stories from those companies next year.
I feel like Microsoft's too fucking afraid because they did that literal thing all of 7th gen and it burned down every studio they owned. If we've learned anything, it's Microsoft's incapable of learning a lesson from anything ever. I feel like their larger thing is they learned the wrong lessons a lot of the time. You know, they didn't learn to make a standard normal Fable with a reasonable development time thing. They learned, you've made all the Fable you can Fable, make a spinoff. That's not the correct lesson. Yeah, this sucks.
Yeah.
This sucks bad. Bungie used to be really amazing. So to see this, how it all goes down.
They also called the layoffs a lever they will pull again. So they will literally fire everyone in that company rather than let Sony take control of the company. Which is going to happen in the end anyway, and then Sony will shut them down because there will be nothing left. It's sure great that Sony paid $4 billion for a company that never reported their numbers or was even like had the impression of being super profitable, just so they could tell them all the shit you're making is garbage, cancel all of it, and then the studio immediately burned to the ground.
Well, to be fair, it feels like Destiny would be just as troubled right now. Monetarily, they'd be just as screwed. They took a huge investment from, who was it, Nexon? You remember NCSoft?
It was one of them. It was some big Korean company, I think.
Wait. What's the one who's making all the studios for the Japanese executives?
NetEase.
I think it was a NetEase investment.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, there's all sorts of like signs continuing and consistent that they just are on a bad trajectory and have been for years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and
I feel like we've been talking about this since the purchase happened of like, what are they doing?
But yeah, it sucks because this story is both Bungie sucks, but also Sony's making it worse by trying to do a hostile takeover as part of the contract. And it's like, why did you sign that contract?
Right?
Bungie?
The Bungie's really good
because their leaders got a bunch of money and then got to leave.
Yeah.
Fuckers.
Yeah, this is
God, that sucks.
What a doomed company. This is awful.
Well, that's it for
That's all
news.
the hell.
Let's talk about the Game Awards.
Woo! Man, we had a good Game Awards. That's so crazy.
Yeah, it is. Some might say that Game Awards got an A, such as from us, because there were a lot of things that were announced. A lot of things that were announced. The weirdest, possibly, among them was Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons remake.
What were they thinking?
It's been 10 years. That's what they've been thinking. Actually, has it even been?
I don't think it's even been 10.
I think it was early Xbox One. I'm not sure, though, now. Maybe it's mid. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think it's been 9 years.
Anyway, that's coming out in February. It looked very high fidelity. Pony Island 2, a thing that Chris and Agro might know what it is.
Yeah, that game's neat. You play it on Steam. I think it's usually pretty cheap because it's like an hour long. It's not very big, and I don't think it's ever going to be on anything but PC, considering the goofy. It's one of those games that fucks with you in ways that a console game would never be allowed to fuck with you.
Then we got Rise of the Golden Idol. I don't remember this, Bob.
It was a CG trailer that had nothing memorable about it.
Will we ever learn?
No, because there aren't punishments.
Well, there are, but people don't equate them. People are
Right.
like, oh, our game bombed. Maybe we should have had anything memorable about it at all.
Next game, Finji, Unusual June. Does anyone want to talk about that?
Does anyone remember what it was?
Oh, that was the thing with the cool
That
art.
was the
You played
that
like
was
the
like
black
the-
lady.
that was the thing that we all said was God, what was it? It had like the black girl and ghosts.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I remember the art style was doing a stop motion thing with some mild interpolation, and it seems really cool. It was
Yeah.
2.5D, is that right?
No, I think it was an action
No, it's
3D
3D.
game.
Oh, right. It was the action 3D game where it had really beautiful color choices and absolutely stellar effects, and it seemed like a neat action game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that's 2025. Harmonium the Musical is apparently a game that is playable if you are deaf and they visualize the music, correct?
Oh yeah, that
Yes,
one.
it is
Yes.
that.
So that was fascinating and interesting, and then they sang it. It sounded like a Disney movie for my youth. So I have conflicted emotions about this.
Maybe a best experienced by deaf people.
The composers are like, just die from that sick burn. Jesus. It seemed like a really interesting concept. The main character themselves is using sign language, and them and a different character have hearing aids in. So it was really interesting, really fascinating. I actually want to play this, but then I heard the song and I'm like, I can't.
It's like acid.
It is to me. My grandmother collected Disney films. I had a large amount of exposure to Disney VHSs. And I had nieces who also really liked Disney. So
Of course.
this isn't an overexposure thing. This is just it's never really been my jam outside of Lion King and like a couple others. And even then, like once. You just
You
watch
don't need to watch it on loop.
except for the Lion King. I totally watched that on loop. Weirdly enough, the developers behind Dead Cells showed off their game, and it wasn't a Castlevania game. It is called Windblown. And I like this description from Chris. Scrunko furry roguelike. I kept joking that it was a rated M Neopets game.
Yes.
Yeah, I assume it's a roguelike because they kept showing them getting
Oh, yeah.
liquefied.
Oh, yeah. for
Absolutely is a
Yeah.
roguelike.
It's got like a Diablo perspective to the combat. But we only got to see that for a couple seconds before they just went to more animated stuff.
Yeah, we barely saw gameplay in that. Most of it was just that animated cutscenes and stuff. Then we got to see Thrasher, which is the sequel to Thumper. You can look at the fucking logos and tell it is the same
frame
team
of the game.
Oh, well, yeah, because they have giant spooky faces. It basically looks like you're in first person, possibly in VR, and you're moving your snake-like. Imagine Rattler with 360-degree control, and you're trying to make it go through these drift loops, these roots of wind or whatever. Chain those up, and once you clear them all off, it doesn't move against the boss. It seemed like a really cool experience, and the face is big and spooky. Then I left the room, came back in, and looked at the screen for maybe a second. Went, is that World of Goo 2?
And as it turns out,
it was. So that's coming in 2024. It looked like World of Goo. Close your eyes, imagine World of Goo. It looked like that.
It's back.
And ready for battle. Metaphor Refantasio. Isn't there like one more word there? I thought there was one more word there, but Metaphor Refantasio is. Did they say fall 2024 or just later 2024?
I think they just said later.
Okay.
Yeah, that game looked really cool.
Yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, that's from the creators of Persona 3, 4, and 5. They have the composer. It's happening.
Oh, yeah, that thing.
Yeah, it looked sick. That's on Game Pass, and the end of this trailer informed us, Persona, play it now.
Is it on Game Pass? I don't think they said that it was on Game Pass. I think it just had the
I thought it was
Microsoft
included
Xbox
in the
logo at the part.
Okay,
the
I
Persona
thought
3 remake definitely was on Game Pass, but I don't know if this
Yeah,
was.
that's day one Game Pass. I don't think Metaphor is.
Okay, it'd be weird because it grouped it together with the other Persona stuff in that
did.
image.
Right.
About Game Pass, I thought. Oh, well. Exodus. So imagine some people who used to work on Mass Effect, and then they went, I would like to ship a game ever again. And so they went off and made their own Mass Effect. You did it. You saw the trailer.
It has Matthew McConaughey, though.
It looked all right, all right, all right. I can't. I forgot they jumped us with the God of War thing.
Yeah, no.
So
Yeah.
we've known for a little while they were working on a DLC for God of War Ragnarok. We didn't think it's in 5 days from the announcement of it.
Yeah, it looks like a post-game roguelike mode, or maybe not even post-game. I don't know.
He's taking the journey on his own. Kratos is. So
Yeah, but it could just be a thing you boot from the menu.
but yeah, it seems canonical, interesting. It's called Valhalla. And it seems roguelike-like. And this is absolutely a stellar game to make a roguelike mode out of.
Yeah, they even showed a God of War 3 enemy, or 2 and 3.
Yeah, it looks like the 3 design when you ride on the back of the Cyclops or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks sick. Really, really cool. Once again, that's a free DLC. It comes out in 4 days from right now.
The 12s, Jesus.
The people who made Untitled Goose Game apparently are making a game where you and some other cryptids, specifically, how do you describe Zeus-like creatures?
Patapons?
Patapon Zeus. It's 3D, and you walk around these big spaces, and you meet up and you do things, and it's called Big Walk, as in walk.
And before the show was even over, my Twitter timeline had Rule 34 of those weird little things.
Oh my God. Sure is your Twitter timeline. Good fucking Lord. Do I even? Hellblade 2.
Done.
Hey, we saw
Yeah, there wasn't
gameplay.
anything else to talk about.
It looked like Hellblade 1.
It looked exactly like Hellblade 1, but higher fidelity. So if you're a Hellblade fan, and you want exactly the same thing in a higher fidelity, this looked like that. It looked exactly like that. It looks stunningly like that by a company that's now owned by one of the richest companies in the world.
Mm-hmm.
This will be their Mega Man 2. Ikumi Nakamura's new game, Kemuri, was shown off. Her new studio, Unseen, I believe, or Unsighted? Unseen.
Unseen, yeah.
Man, this sure is if Ghostwire was cool.
Yeah, just erasing Ghostwire from time.
God, Ghostwire is like embarrassingly mid.
Mm-hmm.
Like that feels almost. That feels like like that game isn't bad enough to be interesting in a bad way.
Mm.
That's like a game that Chris would buy when Target had a buy 2 get 1 free, and he wanted 2 games. Like, I don't know which one I want to get free. It just seems like it might be cool. Maybe I shouldn't have just bought this anyway.
That game for me was Assassin's Creed Black Flag, and that's a way better game to be that game for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Unfortunately, see, Dan, back then, he misunderstood. He didn't know. He misunderstood. The first game, the one that wasn't the filler, was Knack. It's great sleep medicine. Anyway, after that, we saw No Rest for the Wicked, an action RPG being made by the people who made Ori, Moon.
Looks very nice.
That looks sick.
Yeah.
All they have to do is a public execution of every pest in the studio. And then we get to go, oh, cool, I can feel good about this. Dan, is that an incitement to violence? No, I didn't tell you to go and publicly execute them. They're supposed to offer them up themselves and live stream it on Twitch, okay? So,
Very different.
yeah, no being toxic, gamers. Sega announced a bunch of things while my computer burst into flames. Bob, would you like to tell us about these things they announced?
They showed like full 3D remakes or new games, I guess, for Jet Set Radio, Golden Axe, Crazy Taxi, and Streets of Rage.
I'm so fucking
And
bummed.
Shinobi.
And no, Shinobi was a 2D thing.
They announced a fucking Crazy Taxi game, and my PC burst into flames at the exact right moment.
So that's insane. I can't believe that there is a full 3D Golden Axe game coming.
Right?
That seems ludicrous. And you get to play as more than just the lady. It's got everybody. But yeah, they look pretty nice.
Yeah, I genuinely forgot the Jet Set Radio thing kind of leaked.
Yeah.
The Streets of Rage thing looks weirdly high fidelity.
It does.
Like, it looks crazy. Oh, man, Shinobi looks really good, too. Holy shit. That is actually surprisingly good for 2D animation.
Right?
Oh, my God. This Golden Axe game looks nuts.
Yeah, no, the Golden Axe game looks insane. Like, what?
Oh, man, Crazy Taxi looks good, too. And it seems to have a multiplayer focus. Man, these look awesome. Why did my PC have to do that during that? That might have been my highest point. You know,
I hope they understand that hope they understand that they need to get Pizza Hut branding back.
And
Hopefully.
KFC.
Yeah. They have the colonel, and he needs to get a ride from you. In fact, there are no more pedestrians in the game. Just a bunch of colonels. Colonel Sanderses. After that, they showed off DBZ Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero, which is Tenkaichi 4. It sure hits different when you finally make another Tenkaichi. How many years later?
So many. I don't know.
What's the last time,
15
guys? What's the last time they made a
something?
Tenkaichi?
You know what was weird about this trailer?
Huh.
I'm sorry. You know what was great about this trailer?
What?
Nothing from Super was in it.
I mean, except Super
they went-
Saiyan Blue.
Yeah,
they
went
went Super Saiyan Blue.
Nope, didn't
I
happen.
think somebody went through with a comb and saw somebody from like the multiversal tournament.
Oh.
Shot.
I mean, that makes sense. It's a Tenkaichi game. That's what.
Yeah,
Look.
you get everybody because the game is so simplistic. You can just put everyone in it.
Yeah, Aggro, I hate to tell you this, but you're gonna have to play a game that has granola and gas and oil and the heaters.
I'm
in it.
excited.
I think that's really neat that the characters look very anime-esque, but the backgrounds look like UE5. Just like yeah,
No, it's great.
Here's a real
It's
life
so
environment.
good. Why wouldn't you want to blow that up? It's the Dragon Ball Z game I was born to play, baby.
Why couldn't Jump Force look like this?
Because
They specifically made it look bad to cater to Americans. They have literally said that it's like we went realistic because Americans don't like cartoons.
They announced a Dead by Daylight spin-off made by the Until Dawn people, made by Supermassive. The casting of Frank Stone.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
So, see, this was to lull me into a sense of security. I was like, oh, this is just the Game Awards. I can calm down. And they're like, this storied franchise. And I'm like, all right. From Square Enix. And I'm like, okay. And then they're like, it's Mana shit, Dan. And I'm like, no. It looks so beautiful, you guys. Vision of Mana looks so good. It looks so good. It's not on the Switch. It's so good. Look at it.
Yeah.
It looks so good.
No,
it looked like if
does.
Genshin Impact was a Mana game. It looks so good. It looked so good.
That's really hype after that last one being like really, really low rent.
I loved
Like,
that
I
one.
still like
And
it too.
I like how it looks.
Uh-huh.
And then you hit a cutscene and you wish there was more money in it. Mm-hmm. This looks so expensive for a Mana game. It's nice. It feels good. I can finally just stop being silently bitter at all the Saga fans who've been eating so well, you greedy Saga fans.
It's not our fault we have more games than you to be re-released.
That's not true. There are probably a few, like the Game Boy Advance one. They haven't re-released
Look.
that, or the DS one, or...
Look, Dan. If there will never, ever, ever be a Saga game with this much money ever. Not ever. Not if the sun until the sun goes out.
I don't
will there
know.
ever be a Saga game with this much money?
I think it could happen after, if they're doing this for Mana, and we've seen all the Saga games getting re-releases. I feel like the next step is to do a Saga game with this much money.
I don't think it'll have that much money because Saga games are defined by their weird cryptic mechanics that put off normal human beings. And I think even the creator is like, we better manage our budget on this one.
Yeah.
This one entire franchise.
Yes, that's true. That's fair.
It's important to be a graceful winner. It's important to not rub it in. It's important to feel bad for the people who don't get their Genshin Impact but with Mana level of money in a game. Hey, at least you got a lot of games, Saga fans. I had to wait years now wondering if they were even going to come back around to Mana, to be honest, because we don't have a sleeper agent at the top of the company like you do.
That's true. But when they did an anime for Legend of Mana a couple years back, I was pretty confident they were cooking.
This looks so good. If this isn't my game of the year, I'll be surprised.
Fair.
It's got Flammy.
So, I know it's not Square, but Grandia 4 is coming, right?
I don't even fucking know who owns Grandia right now.
It's Konami, isn't it?
No, it's
Is it still Gung Ho?
Yeah, I think it's still Gung Ho.
Do they even fucking make games?
Good luck.
I think that they published that Gungrave game.
All they do is ports and online shit. I'm sorry, it's over. It's never been more over.
We can move on from Vision of Mana. They immediately stuck something that would have been really hype for me right after that if they hadn't stuck it right after that, because Vision of Mana is like a 10 out of 10. Every neuron's firing. I'm losing my mind. And then they're like, hey, remember Rise of Ronin? You've been idly excited for this for the past few years. Anyway, here's a lot of footage of gameplay. And I'm like, oh, that looks sick.
Yeah, I can't wait to go comb through that, because that was really cool looking.
Yeah. For people who don't remember, this is a Koei Tecmo open world Ronin game. Presumably made by, it is Team Ninja, right?
Yeah, it's Team Ninja.
So, and this is the Sony second party game. This is a PlayStation, what do they even call that? Like PlayStation Studios, technically?
I think so. They put the PlayStation Studios logo there.
Okay, so then, yeah. This is coming out March 22nd, 2024. That's insane.
Yeah, it's slitting Dragon's Dogma's throat, just frame one.
I don't know. I think Dragon's Dogma 2 is going to get the like the FromSoft-esque Armored Core, like everybody loves every other game Capcom makes, so this gets an enormous buff from that.
It might.
Like, I actually think that this might be like the first second party Sony thing, other than Forspoken, that kind of does worse than they wanted.
I mean, Final Fantasy
because of that.
16, I also think didn't do well.
I mean, it
by
didn't do
standards.
They said it did good.
Okay.
It did all
I don't have
right.
any reason to deny that.
I mean, what was the starting of this? Because I did zone out for just 1 second to do something. What was the starting point of bringing that up?
Just that it launches the same day as Dragon's Dogma.
Oh, okay.
So I was saying that it's going to tear that game apart. Because it's actually like a brand new.
Yeah. I don't know. I think people are more interested in giving Dragon's Dogma a fair shake now that it's like Capcom's really respected now in a way that maybe they weren't even then.
Yeah,
weirdly
that
enough.
was in the middle of 7th Gen with the low point for Capcom.
And the tail end of 7th Gen, which was a definite low point for Capcom.
It also ran bad and had the weird vignetting, so it would run even slightly acceptably.
It had a really bad frame rate and the most cinematic aspect ratio your PS3 had ever seen.
It also just had a lot of until the re-release at least, there was a lot of no, you run. Like, that's how you get around. There's no fast travel in this game, motherfucker. which was like poison to people back then, especially when your game runs bad and loads long.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I had to choose between the two of them, okay, so Santa Claus hands me $70 plus tax and says,
Yes.
you have to choose between one of these two games, kid, because fuck you. The money's technically in your hand, but you're making a choice I choose. I think I would go Dragon's Dogma.
Okay.
I think. Because I think there would be more for me to get into there than just the sheer gameplay of it. Nothing about the world of Rise of Ronin.
With Rise of Ronin, I have the confidence it's going to have like a full story.
That's true.
And I
That's
don't have
true.
it with Dragon's Dogma at all.
Team Ninja has been good about that, huh?
But at the same time, I feel like my brain has almost shut off during all the story cutscenes of Neo 2.
Yeah, but it looks like there's a main character in this game and not generic man there to fill with boots. That's their
Sure,
character
but
creator.
I also felt that way about Neo 1, which was a specific character.
Okay. Yeah, I think Neo 1's 10 times better, but it's still not great.
Moving on, OD, the Kojima cloud game was
Yeah, it had people screaming. Why do so
shown?
many Microsoft games like have promotional material of a face yelling?
well, in Kojima's eyes, the fact you're gonna have to zoom into their eyes to see the trailer is funny as hell to him.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Oh, was that the
everything's
gimmick?
in their eyeballs.
Yep.
He loves his games.
Hey, Kojima, do you have a trailer ready? I've got a MetaHumans tech demo. Do you want that?
Yeah, because that was the thing for anyone who didn't see it is powered by MetaHumans, the
Oh.
Unreal Engine 5 human creation
I
tool.
did not see that.
Yep.
Wow.
What Jordan
Jordan
Peele. I was like, no, this isn't right.
Yeah, Jordan Peterson is
Yeah,
woke
oh, I
Bandicoot.
know. Jordan Peele took the stage with Kojima to talk about how they're the best buds. Kojima's friends with everyone in Hollywood. Do you ever notice
Yeah, it's crazy.
that? And they both deeply respect each other as artists and love each other as men. Was there anything else to that that's palpable?
Not really. It was just sort of like, oh man, this is gonna be so great. It's great, so great. And I have, unlike most of the time Kojima comes out and shows something wild and crazy and neat and exciting, this really didn't do anything for me. Because it
Which
was just
terrifies me about it. Like, they're like, you've never seen anything like this. They're going to launch whatever the fuck this is, and it's going to start deleting people's Game Pass accounts.
Good. I've been needing to do that.
it's but yeah, I'm just like, is it a streaming show? What is it?
And they were pretty unclear about that themselves.
Yeah.
But once again, I haven't seen the trailer yet because I haven't zoomed in on the eyes. That's where the real trailer is. You can see plenty of movement and rooms.
The way that what I kept seeing in their eyes was like, I thought that was literally Kojima's production offices.
Like his face scan thing?
Yeah,
or-
like every time you see that place, it looks similar to what I saw in their eyes. And I was like, oh, is it supposed to be like just that's how it actually was recorded?
But the last thing was them staring at the door that was on the stage open.
Mm-hmm.
So that was, you can't tell me there's not a trailer in those eyeballs.
There's absolutely something there.
So I'm excited to go check out the 4K version and zoom in on it. Jurassic Park Survival. What happened 10 seconds later? You can find out now. Holy shit.
Yeah, so you play some characters literally going through every set piece from the first movie just moments after it ended.
I always talk about how much I appreciate Planet of the Apes 2 taking place 10 minutes after the first movie, or possibly even 1 minute after the first movie.
Yeah.
This is somehow more absurd.
Right, because you gets between every scene in the movie.
Right. This isn't 1 minute after Jurassic Park 1. This is technically, I don't know, half an hour in is where this begins. I don't have any thoughts on it because, I mean, didn't they show gameplay at the very end? And by then we had watched so much CG trailer, it was kind of like mush.
Yeah, it was. I was like, oh, is it VR? And then it was unclear. It might have been first person.
Yeah, it seemed like it was just kind of bad looking first person. Your brain went, well, if it looks that bad and it's first person, it's probably VR.
No one would make just a bad looking first person game, would they?
Not in 2023, 2024. That would be suicide. Speaking of suicide, I left the room and they said something about Skull and Bones. I have no idea what. I was gone.
It was a new trailer. Like, it has 3-player co-op. I'm like, oh, excuse me? Shouldn't it be more than that?
Yeah, 3?
Right?
Did that take a year?
I don't know.
Okay.
That's out February 16th.
All right. Sure. Probably. Maybe.
Yeah, you
I
can't
don't-
believe it. There's
I'm-
another beta coming. You can play the game that will not release.
They showed rocket racing in Fortnite. So Fortnite, as I mentioned before, they have the UEFN tools, which is Unreal Engine for Fortnite tools, which realistically should have one more F and no N's because Fortnite's one word. It allows them to make really custom maps and stuff. A lot of this Game Awards show was showcasing a lot of different things with codes shown on screen for you to go and play that for yourselves. And it seemed like Rocket Racing was exactly that, possibly even made by the Rocket League people. Unclear.
Yeah, I think they said it was made by them.
Yeah, it's the Rocket League people.
Okay. Yeah, it seemed to have the physics and everything down, so that makes sense. Did anyone want to say anything else? We can move on? We can move on? We can move on. Black Sun Wukong? Is that the name?
I think it's Black Myth Wukong.
Okay, yeah. Anyways, Black Myth Wukong is coming out August 20th next year, which is
Actually,
is that the first China super game to ship?
I think it is.
Yes, I think it is.
We're going to enter a brave new era.
How's it getting out before Lost Soul Aside?
Because
Like
one guy's
this.
making that.
Yeah, but when Sony gave him money, he's like, I hired a whole team.
Okay, but that was still after Black Sun Wukong started development, I think.
Yeah, I was like, that was still 3 years ago.
Games take at least 8 years to make now. Don't you listen to Phil Spencer?
No.
God damn it. Moving on, Warframe continues and will not stop. December 13th, Whispers in the Wall.
Oh, is this an Attack on Titan episode?
Shut the Tales of Kenzero Zhao? I don't remember this.
I
What
don't
the fuck was
either.
this? Chris?
Yeah, this was the African game.
Yeah, this was the African
this
game
was-
that
okay, yes.
support by Critical Role and the other studio.
Yeah, the Ridley Scott for some
Yes,
reason.
Oh,
Ridley
yeah.
Scott
Yeah.
Creative Group was the name of it. And it had the actor on stage explain that this story was about him losing his father. And the story seemed really interesting. And it was yet another 2.5D game, kind of like the Prince of Persia game.
Mm-hmm.
We're just like, oh, shit. It's back. We're back. And Bob was like, this reminds me of Outland or whatever the name of that
Housemark.
2.5D game was. That comes out April 23rd, 2024. I am so glad it is not this year. That actually seemed like it could be legit. Don't Nod has a new not Life is Strange.
Yeah, it's it, as in Stephen King's It, as in there's like, we have an evil supernatural thing as kids, then it cuts to us as adults.
I think during that trailer, Voxandra tweeted, "Life is Stranger Things."
Yeah,
Now listen, Don't Nod. You're gonna be bitches and cowards because there's no way that you're gonna have the writing team do a bunch of coke and write in an underage sewer orgy like exists in the book.
Yeah, and obviously that just makes you lower as a piece of art if you don't write the
does.
most deranged fucking shit. Look, you
If
can't
people
top Stephen
tell you
King.
what's in your project, and you go, I was doing a lot of coke then, man. Whatever's in there, I don't remember.
Next, we had a DNF action game called The First Berserker Kazan.
God, this was ludicrous looking.
Yeah, this looks sweet as shit, dude. Amazing character designs, cool looking action combat, amazing environments.
Mm-hmm.
It's got it all. You play Siegfried. Aggro's coping. Apex Legends Cross Final Fantasy VII, January.
Read the rest, Dan.
Nobody cares, Moby. Nobody cares.
I'm sure somebody cares.
They announced a Blade game.
Yeah, the like announced as we started development announced.
Yeah. Why do all the Marvel games get this sort of announcement?
Because
Not all
Disney
of them.
says
Not all of them.
Which one
Spider-Man
didn't?
2 didn't.
Yeah, that's like
Spider-Man
it.
2 was
Oh,
announced at the PS2 reveal.
The PS2 reveal. Hot damn, they spent forever on that shit.
PS5 reveal, I'm pretty sure. I'm like, they're Miles Morales and Spider-Man 2.
Right, but they already had another team working on 2 because it was a different team that made Miles Morales. So it was
they
already in
announced
development when
Spider-Man-
they announced it.
They announced Spider-Man 1 really early.
But it was already in development for years at that point. This sounds like they literally announced it now and they have no work done.
Yeah, it's not like the Avengers announcement.
Yes, it's that tier where it's just like, we're here to announce we will make product and you will eat it.
I guess the Indiana Jones announcement.
And that there is a lot of Microsoft announcements, which is why I find the association with Marvel weird, because I generally think of this as a Microsoft thing. Because it keeps happening and their games keep not coming out. But yeah, Blade is being made by Arcane Leon. It is going to be a third-person sort of action game. They said many statements that implied open world. We'll see. Maybe that was just vibes of open world.
It didn't even have platforms yet, because I imagine Disney is being like, yeah, we'd like to make money. And Microsoft is like, but it's our studio. And then Disney goes, but we'd like to make money.
This thing doesn't have a year. It doesn't even have an implication of a year. Whatever.
And this is
they
the
made a
Arcane that
CG
did not do Redfall.
Yeah, this is Deathloop. This is Deathloop Arcane. This is Deathloop Dishonored Arcane.
Cool. Twisted Metal Season 2 confirmed.
Neat.
Good. That show's good.
That show is good. And I
Right.
have high hopes for Season 2 because they have a successful Season 1. They can build on that.
They teased a lot in the end of that season 1 too.
We've got the whole surfboard now. Let's go.
Last Sentinel.
What was that one? Is that the thing I thought was
Ghost in the Shell, yeah.
Oh, it's that one. Okay. Oh, this is the one made by the former Rockstar guys.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's got like a futuristic
Yeah,
look
the futuristic thing and the robot beating open the robot grabs the woman's throat, and then you can see in the CG trailer's artist's mind, oh god, we can't have him snap her neck for the Game Awards, so she just gets slammed down.
And then she's half robot, as in we've exposed the half of her face to show she is in fact a whole robot.
Yes.
Yeah, I had no thoughts with that other than you could do cool things with these aesthetics and tones.
Right. It's like, this is a neat CG trailer. I sure hope the game is cool. I'd love to see a open world like GTA style, but with Ghost in the Shell like stuff.
Then we got a trailer for the first Descendant. Bob, you might be familiar with the first Descendant.
I played this. This is a Korean-made Destiny, but with Overwatch-style character selecting.
This comes out summer 2024. It looks really nice.
Yeah, the art's very good.
Mecha Break looked fucking sick.
Yup.
It's a mech game. But it was like a Super Robot Wars because all the mechs came from different shows.
I was
of course, all
genuinely
off-brand.
confused.
Yeah, there was a moment where we're like, Sony, they got Gundam. Wait.
Is this Super Robot Wars? No, I recognize what all these robots are, but not that specifically.
So that looked pretty cool. That was Mecha Break. Then we got Den of Wolves, which, in the movie Fight Club, when he's like, the gun's not in your hand, it's in mine. That was the trailer.
Yeah, it was. Jesus.
I just couldn't help but think of that being like, you made a whole trailer out of that one shot in Fight Club. Anyway, it's being made by the Payday devs. This is apparently a dream game for the guy. You're trapped in some existential cyber nightmare. Sci-fi. Question mark?
Possibly still doing Payday light heists, but in Cyber Nightmare?
Cyber Nightmare?
I don't know. We'll have to see.
Exoborn. We thought it was The Surge 3.
That's a little condemning.
We thought it was a surprisingly good-looking Surge 3. Is that good?
Okay, that's a little bit of a boost.
The trailer kind of made it look like it could have been an extraction shooter or a battle royale.
And they said extraction shooter battle royale at the end.
So
Yeah.
that's that. There you
The,
go.
the genre that will be completely dead before another game launches in it.
Yeah.
Will.
And every one of these games will crater on impact.
Yep. Hello Games, which is a No Man's Sky people. Why do we bring that up instead of the other game they made? What the fuck was the name of that? Stuntman, whatever.
Oh, right.
Joe
Danger.
Joe Danger, yeah. Why do we bring up No Man's Sky? Everyone loves Joe Danger. Chat, do you even fucking remember Joe Danger?
Nobody remembers Joe Danger.
They're like,
Nobody
yeah, that
remembers
movie's
Joe Danger.
hilarious. David Spade's great in it. I'm like, God damn it, that's Joe Dirt.
No, I love the one where it's Andy Samberg.
God damn. Wait, what is that one?
What is that one?
Anyway, they announced a new game called Light No Fire. It sounded really cool. Imagine an open world, seamless, procedurally generated a la No Man's Sky, but all on one planet. Skyrim.
Fantasy game, yeah.
Or action RPG, fantasy themed, of course. But it has those Amiga vibes because at one point a character was flying on a giant hummingbird, and I was like, this is good.
Yeah.
I like this. And
someone
that's
got
the
in
thing
chat.
I
It's
like
Hot Rod.
It doesn't have Joe anywhere in it. I guess it's a stuntman, though.
Yeah, he's a stuntman.
What is the Hot Rod spoiler cast? Yeah, when you die. The second you die, the person who wrote this, the second you die, we will celebrate by only watching it then.
In memoriam.
It's what they would have wanted, which is why we didn't do it while they were alive.
Jesus.
Anyways, this Light No Fire looked really sick. I liked the logo stylings of it, all of the environmental assets. It looked cool. They got me again. I told myself I was too smart to fall for his trick twice.
Right. He even came out and say, like, I shouldn't do this. I shouldn't say these things.
No, baby, it's okay. He's changed.
I can't believe he changed. I can't. But it looks sick. It looks like my ideal. You know, it's much more my thing than No Man's Sky, which already, you know, it gets stronger every year. It's been building momentum for 10 years now. It's, I'm excited for this. Simu Liu is in Stormgate. Stormgate is on Kickstarter. Early access starts next summer. Stormgate is a StarCraft knockoff made by former Blizzard people. Fucking hell, any of that fits together.
Right. All of those seem like they should not be part of the same news article.
No.
It's all wrong.
So Stormgate looks cool. It's looked cool basically every time we've seen the gameplay. I've watched, you know, some trailers and videos talking about it and stuff. And I'm genuinely excited. This is the one time I've been like, oh, this is getting your Hollywood celebrity and then also showing up on Kickstarter to me doesn't feel good.
No.
My wife isn't dead. Elfelt is in fact back in Guilty Gear Strive.
Out now, I think.
Holy shit.
Right?
I didn't expect it. I genuinely thought I was going to have to wait for a whole other Guilty Gear game before she would come back.
You might just buy the season pass now. Like, Johnny and her are enough.
Cool.
We'll see.
Maybe I'll co-fund that. You know, I don't give a shit about Johnny, but, you know.
Just need to jam, and I'm like, okay, that's all the Guilty Gear characters I really needed.
He says until Testament is one of them, and you go, what the fuck? How can you fit this in the game? Testament's too big.
Testament's already in the game.
Wait. I'm
you're
thinking
talking,
of
Justice.
Justice. Yeah, I was like...
Which I believe the character already in the game is technically her without the suit.
Yes!
So I don't know if they can put her in.
Put her back.
Yeah.
Put her back in the suit.
I don't think you're gonna get Justice, just like I don't think you're gonna get Holy Order Soul. I think the window for that has passed.
But it's really funny, the concept of Strive having to render justice.
I mean, they could do what they did to Asuka R. Kreutz, where it's like, it's a clone.
Oh.
That's why he's Asuka R hashtag in the playable one in Strive, I think, because he's supposed to be a clone.
All right.
But yeah, Elfelt's back. Very excited to hear the English dub.
Stuff about her, like the way she plays come out. And apparently she's just Noelle now.
I noticed. I was
Oh.
very happy. I had to hold back on saying that the whole time because I'm like, some fighting game person's going to be like, actually, this is nothing like how you're supposed to play Noelle. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. Her bouquet becomes a fucking gun, and the way she's swinging it and shit looks like Noelle Vermilion, which is also one of my favorite BlazBlue characters. You know, now that I think about it, BlazBlue was kind of the game that I had the most mains in, I think, outside of Smash Bros.
Right, of course.
Look, not every game can have 100 characters like Smash. They showed off the Final Fantasy 16 DLC, Echoes of the Fallen, out now. The Rising Tide, out next year. You can buy both together right now. That looked like cool stuff.
Yeah, it's 20. They I guess they learned from the fucking Remind shit because the both are $25. Like, you get both for $25.
What was the Remind thing? How does that play?
Remind was 40.
That was 40? I thought it was 30.
It was 40, I'm pretty sure.
No wonder I was so upset.
Maybe I'm misremembering and it was just 30, but I'm pretty sure it was 40. I'm pretty sure it was extreme.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Wow.
I think the part of it was the justification was a Disney tax or something, but that doesn't.
Okay,
doesn't
people are
feel
saying
good.
it's 30.
Yeah,
But that was before games were 70.
Right.
So
30s
it felt even worse.
30's definitely expensive for what was there.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Like,
yeah,
absolutely.
That felt Spartan.
Yeah. But yeah, no, this seemed really cool. That seemed like stuff I really wish was in the core game. It seemed like moments that would have really helped flesh out that journey and that experience. Just from what the trailer showed of that. So this looks cool. Get excited, 16 fans. The finals comes up and everyone groans. I'm just going to read it as Chris wrote it.
Yeah, no, why was that near the end of the show?
I don't know why a human hosted that segment. We should have gotten a rampant AI. ChatGPT's going to host this segment. They can't afford a guy to go out to the fucking LA.
The game launches really soon. I think it's out now.
And Monster Hunter Wilds was announced for 2025. No Switch on the platforms.
Yeah,
I
of
believe
course
it was
not.
next gen exclusive as well.
That makes sense.
I bet it will be on the second Switch, though.
It could maybe.
Maybe.
But this may
It's
be
worth-
too big, too ambitious.
It's worth noting that the Mana game, Visions of Mana, also did not list Switch, and there was something from, I think maybe even in the pre-show that I'm forgetting that was there that should have had Switch, like based on what kind of game it was, should have had Switch as a game, but didn't. So,
I mean, yeah, a lot of games, there weren't many Switch games shown, if
no.
any.
It's almost like within the next year, something that is taking the place of the Switch is launching.
You say that, but the CEO said no.
Never. It's done.
And Visions of Mana specifically is also on PS4. I think
Yes.
Sony's gonna get a lot of free content for PS4 coming out of the Switch 2 being basically the same spec.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it's really funny because what we're going to see is the Switch 2 has a game, the PS4 has a game, and the Xbox doesn't have a game. Because we've already seen that started happening.
Mm-hmm.
But it's only more magnified and underscored when the Switch 2 gets it and the PS4 gets it and then the Xbox doesn't.
Nobody gives a shit about the Xbox One, and now nobody owns one, so they're never ever gonna do that. Like, we already got it with Street Fighter, and it's just gonna keep happening.
I mean, here's the thing, Chris. You can't trust those surveys. People don't know what Xbox they own. They name them too confusingly. Anyways, that's it for the Game Awards 2023. I thought that was a great show.
Yeah, that was incredible.
They announced the first AAA-led Mana game since the Super Nintendo, arguably, and I would say the PS1.
Uh-huh.
Holy shit. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, no, it was a really good show, especially after a year straight. It felt like bad trade shows. Like,
Oh, yeah. No, I was looking at that sheet.
Right.
Let me see if I still have it up because it was like, oh, these are so many Ds.
I feel like the highest anything got from average from us was a C+, something like that.
Yeah, this is a lot better than it. I think they probably could have cut some of these bad games and let people talk more than 30 seconds, which it came out that explicitly you got 30 seconds.
Yeah, that checks out. This isn't. We should cut the award show out of this show, which I know they'll never do. Like, that's.
It felt legitimately like an afterthought. This is the first year where it actually felt cartoonish and how much it was an afterthought.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm looking at this Summer of Gaming 2023 grade repository, which covers all the way up until Gamescom opening night live. And the best on average score-wise seems to be Summer Games Fest 2023. Most of our scores were B-, 3 B-, a C+, and a B. The next closest appears to be Ubisoft Forward, which just shows you how desperate we were by the time that aired.
Right.
3 days later. We gave that a B-, a B-, a B, a C-, and a B-. So yet again, 3 B-, a C-, and a B, making it slightly lesser than Summer Games Fest 2023. So this being A-, A-.
Uh-huh.
Awesome. And I thought it was a great show. We got to see a lot of new games. We got to see some... once again, my wife is back in Guilty Gear. And she's one of my favorite characters from Blaze Blue. And a Mana game is AAA. A thing I didn't even think we were going to get another Mana game.
Sega announced like 4 games.
Sega announced 4 gangbuster games while my fucking GPU burst into flames because Chrome wanted too much memory or something. Speaking of which,
I think it's funny that all those games are full 3D except Shinobi, and I'm like, yeah, that's correct. That is the correct power scaling.
I do wonder because I'm like, I get why you do the Shinobi in 2D. There's an artistry that's already shown in that tiny bit of trailer that 3D would be hard to impart, like at a reasonable budget, like giant monster in the distance walking, like this fucking Mononoke looking spirit shade thing. So I get it. And also there are so many people who like the 2D Shinobis that don't like Shinobi on PS2 because they had a bottle rocket accident when they were a child.
Yeah, I like, it feels bad because it's like, we'll never see those tiny games again. Just like those 2 on the PS2 and that's it. It's over. Shinobi is this 2D game.
It's funny. He said 2 and I'm like, there's only one Shinobi game on the PS2. Oh, he wants me to acknowledge Nightshade. Okay.
I'm not acknowledging Nightshade. Fuck that.
I'm not going to do that outside of this conversation.
Didn't the director like leave the industry?
Oh yeah, he was gone before Nightshade.
Oh no, he's not.
Wait, what?
The director for Shinobi 2002 is still at Sega. He was a programmer on Sonic Frontiers.
All right. I guess it was someone, because there were multiple people in that interview that I looked up, and I guess it wasn't him. But there were definitely some that was like, oh man, I haven't seen any activity from them since 2002.
Sonic fans, don't take this the wrong way. Man, if that's the director and he went from making one of the most compelling, stylish, sexy action games ever made, and the inspiration arguably for Bayonetta, if not through it, then through its sequel Nightshade, to a programmer on Sonic Frontiers?
Yeah, it's pretty dire.
That makes me sad. I'm a little sad over that. Hopefully someday Sega, somebody will let them know, like, Shinobi on PS2 was cool. That difficulty was deranged, though.
Yeah.
Make a new one of those where the difficulty isn't deranged. Anyways, that was a great show.
Yeah, no, I'm surprised that Jeff delivered, like, the few days before the event when I watched his, like, live stream, just to, the off-the-cuff thing he does on Twitter and stuff. He was like, yeah, they expect a lot of new IPs.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if this is going to be... I can't give a rating for this show because I don't know what's a big thing for you. And because there's so much new stuff, it's not something you can get hyped about just out of the blue.
Yeah.
I didn't really believe him. Because, that sort of thing is hard to do. But here we are, like, no, there were a bunch of brand new games that look cool.
Yeah. The future of gaming is exciting. Right now, gaming is exciting. If you know a person in your life, in your sphere, who thinks gaming is worse now than it was in 7th gen, that we need to go back, you can do better. You can free yourself from them.
Take them to therapy so they can get help for the bottle rocket accident they had as a child.
It might still be lodged up
to taste things
in there. Just remove it at some point. It's going to get infected. Yeah. Because this is great. I feel positive about games. It's great vibes. I wish these other events this year had this positive of vibes, but it feels like we finally got over the hump of COVID. It feels like with this, we have now finally cleared it.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited for next year. A lot of this stuff was 2025 though.
Yeah, there was a surprising amount of 2025, but there was a good chunk of 2024. And some of those things are shockingly close. Like Rise of Ronin, I did not expect in fucking March.
I know. Next to all these other things I want to play. It's too much.
It's just too much, man. Anyways, I'm going to type it in what we got going on. So tomorrow, based on the timeline, which we don't know which timeline we're in right now, we are either playing Bungie, the Gact Simulator on PS2 with a HDMI modded PS2 for superb visual quality and audio quality.
Ooh.
Lossless digital audio.
Incredible.
Or something horrible is going to happen when we test that tonight and we end up playing Mindjack tomorrow.
What a bad timeline that is.
Mm-hmm. That's a little bit of a difference there. The timeline changes just a little bit based on will this retro gaming hardware mod work? Reminder, it didn't last time, which is why the 24-hour Tony Hawk Marathon hadn't happened yet. On Saturday, I'm going to be a part of twitch.tv/Voxandra's tournament. It is a very exciting tournament. It is for a video game. I'm not blanking on the name at all because I don't have a long history of mixing this up with one other specific game. It is a puzzle fighter tournament, and I've trained so much for this moment.
Oh,
Let
I'm
me tell you.
sure.
Please be excited. The brackets already got released to show us who's going to fight who.
Oh, yeah?
So the first person I'm fighting is Zoe Techie, a person I have no idea of their gaming ability, let alone their gaming ability to this certain thing because I've never watched any of their content. Uh-oh.
You'll do great, Dan.
I'm also the first match. So we may open this tournament by me to just being like, well, I'm glad this hole was dug for me. Let me just lie down in it.
Oh, no, Dan. This is rough.
I'm pretty sure Zoe Techie did a deathless Castlevania 1 run.
Yeah, but that's
for
not
the
Puzzle Fighter.
You're right. That's a different game, so I'll be fine. I'll be fine.
When's the last time you played Puzzle Fighter?
So one time Vox came down to Niceville and started COVID. Don't do Twitch crossovers lightly. Don't take it lightly, audience, because sometimes someone visits your hometown that sounds fictional, and by collapsing that waveform, COVID happens. It really, I don't know the science behind it, but that's... So then Vox grabs a cannonball.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I am really excited for that tournament, even though I'm likely going to eat it. I wish this could have happened during a point in my life. I got to actually train a lot leading up to it, but we just barely got this setup done in time for today's events. And if you're looking at the time, you might realize podcast day has been 8 hours long so far.
Yeah, it's almost 1 a.m. Oh my God.
Time to go get 4 chicken quesadillas and a large cheer wine. Hey, Chris, what are you up to?
I don't know. My streaming plans keep being derailed by things that have to be fixed. Currently, that is the water softener.
Oh.
So streams will happen in December, maybe closer to the middle of the month than I would have liked, but they will return. This short little hiatus will end, and we will play Rugrats: The Search for Reptar on PS1, and possibly Spider-Man: Maximum Carnage and Cool Spot, and the Land Before Time game on PS1.
Wow, these are some streams. Hey, Dr. Aggro, what do you have going on?
Not getting my ass beat in public at Puzzle Fighters. So, I mean, after that happens, if you need somebody to talk to or play VR golf with, you just let me know.
Ooh, yeah, I actually
Wait,
that is on my game of the year list.
Since Dan's going to compete on Saturday, I have to say this now. I can't even imagine Dan losing.
I'm trying to think of how the Chris curse works. How do verbally spoken statements apply to the Chris curse? I got genuinely scared it was going to be Turning Point 2 Fall of Liberty again during the Game Awards.
Oh, yeah.
That actually, because it was such a plain looking shooter, when you made the joke, I'm like, no.
Yeah. It's dangerous out there.
Well,
Now, Dan, can one more thing before because of the tournament? Can you stare at the camera in like a inch stare type way and say, "Nah, I'd win"?
nah. I'd win. Thank you very much for listening to this episode of Big Think Dimension. Big Think Dimension is quite literally only possible because of you and your support over at patreon.com/gbpodcast, which helps me afford internet and food and shelter. And that's really important for 4 human beings to have. But also occasionally we spend it on equipment. Luckily, we haven't had to do that in a bit, but I feel like I'm just risking it by saying this right now.